Good afternoon, Spoon Universe. It's Mallory here at Kansas State University. So my Thanksgiving break starts next week, and here at K-State, we don't have a fall break at all, and we get a week off for Thanksgiving. So I'm about to leave, and it's Thanksgiving time, and all I can think about is like turkey and Thanksgiving meals. But usually you start Thanksgiving at like maybe 1 o'clock, maybe 3 o'clock for dinner, and you need something in the morning to kind of sustain your hunger. And I have the perfect idea. I also really like Drake as a singer, and he has a song called Poundcake. So you put the two together, and you have pound cake worthy of Drake and Thanksgiving morning. And I'm going to show you how to do it. It's going to be really exciting, and it's going to kind of smell like Thanksgiving in here. So the first thing we're going to start off with is some granulated sugar. I have 1.5 cups, and then I'm going to add just a stick of softened butter. You want to make sure that the butter is soft so that it can incorporate evenly with the sugar. Otherwise, you'll have like pockets of butter in your cake, and it won't be evenly mixed, and that's just going to be sad. We don't want a sad cake. We want a happy pound cake. All right. Sugar will probably get everywhere, just so everyone's aware. I'm doing pretty good. All right. We want this, there it is, there's the sugar. We want it to be light and fluffy. That's some beauty. And having the butter soft that way, it actually stops the sugar from going all over the place. If you make this and you got sugar fine, your butter probably wasn't quite soft enough, but that's okay. You can kind of mush it together and make it work. All right, so the next thing we're going to add is 3 eggs, and I'm going to add them one at a time. That's just so that they get evenly incorporated and that we continue to incorporate air into our cake. I also have a tablespoon of vanilla extract within these eggs. 1 egg. Add the next one. You want to make sure you get it all on the sides and really incorporate the butter and the sugar and the eggs. Pretty. That's the start of a really nice batter. Nice pale yellow. That's the color you want to go for. So the next thing we're going to add to our pound cake is a little container of Greek yogurt. It's about 1/2 cup. You could also add like sour cream. Some people put mayo in their pound cakes. This is a little healthier, but also the acidity kind of, which sour cream does as well. It's going to break up all of the sugar that is in our pound cake, and it sometimes can be too sweet, but the tartness of the Greek yogurt is really going to stop that from happening. And we're just going to mix this up as well. Beautiful. Okay, one thing I want to do quickly too is just scrape the sides of my bowl, because sometimes the sugar and the butter will stick on the sides, and we really want to make sure it all gets, yep, making a mess. I really do a good job of that. We want to make sure it gets all evenly incorporated. And we can overmix when it's just the liquid ingredients, but once we start adding the dry ingredients, we really want to be careful of how much we mix it, because we don't want it to get tough. Speaking of dry ingredients, we're going to add 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and then I'm just stirring in 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And that's all the leavening that we're going to add. Pound cake actually doesn't rise too much. Really, it's a nice, dense, but moist cake when it's done right. And it isn't going to be like really fluffy, but it's just going to have a lot of, the crumb is really nice because of the even sugar to flour ratio. So I'm going to add this in like 3 parts just to make sure that we don't overwhelm our liquid ingredients, that they get nice and evenly incorporated with the flour. Flour. Okay, I'm going to add some more now. Now we'll add the rest of it.
Can you use different types of flavors of Greek yogurt for this?
Yeah, I just did plain Greek yogurt, but vanilla would add a really nice flavor to your cake. You could also, if you want to do some kind of fruit pound cake, they have like lemon, peach would be really good and very fall-esque. Really anything that you are going for. Because we're just doing cinnamon pound cake, I wouldn't want to add any other flavor. I guess vanilla would be really good, but because we already have that cinnamon going on, we don't want to overwhelm with too many flavors. But raspberry would be really good. You could do like a raspberry lemon pound cake, nice and bright and citrusy. I've done blueberry lemon before. That's been really good. That's a nice thing with the Greek yogurt too, is that you can add flavor without having, sometimes when you add a lot of berries or something, it can weigh down the pound cake or they have too much liquid inside. But when you add the yogurt that already has that flavor, you're imparting that into the cake without changing the chemistry of the cake itself. All right. So this is a really nice consistency that we have. It's a little thicker. And once again, that's just because of the dense quality that you usually associate pound cake with. But it's still going to be delicious and very moist at the same time. And the Greek yogurt really helps with that. All right, so now that we have our base done, my friend Maddie is here, and she's going to help us start putting this pound cake together.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to go and wash my hands.
All right. Maddie and I lived on the same floor freshman year in the residence halls, and now she lives like half a block away from me. It's our senior year, which we didn't plan. It just like came full circle again. So to start the streusel, I have 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar, and I'm adding a tablespoon of ground cinnamon. And we're just going to mix these up a little bit, make a nice streusel mixture. I have a theory that like almost all of Drake's songs are secretly about food. Like pound cake is pretty obvious. Like it could easily be about food. But like Hotline Bling, probably about pizza. Like he's calling for pizza to be delivered at 1, whatever time it is in the morning. You know, these are things that I believe in. It's all about food. Okay, so we have a standard loaf pan, and we're going to put some nonstick spray on this to make sure it comes out nice and pretty. I've also made this in like a bundt pan before, which has been really fun, and it looks a lot more festive if you're going for that Thanksgiving feel. All right, so we're going to layer this pound cake, and I'm going to start with 1/3 of our batter. I wonder if I can fit. Yeah, I can do it that way. Okay. Yeah, that looks about right. You can put a little bit more, a little bit less. It really doesn't matter. It's all about the swirl effect you're going to have when your pound cake bakes. And we're just going to spread it evenly on the bottom of the pan. This is a really pretty texture. It's really good. Okay, so if you want to put like 1/3 of the streusel mixture, and you can just like sprinkle it everywhere. Yum. I love cinnamon. I think it's one of those smells that like when you smell bacon in the oven, it makes you think of home. At least that's what my home always smelled like, cinnamon. Right, thanks, Grandma Judy. All right, yes, perfect. That's about 1/3. That's what it's going to look like. And now we're just going to repeat with the other 2/3 of our batter. Start with another 1/3 of it.
What's a good breakfast item to pair with this? Like coffee, tea?
I would definitely say both of those work. I'm a coffee person. I'm not a big tea person. I wish I was. I heard it's really good for you, but I can't bring myself to drink it. But this would go really well with that. And because it's so sweet, you probably want something to drink to cut it. A glass of milk would also be really good. This would also be good, like a late night snack that you could have before going to bed. Or like secretly steal some before the morning and no one has to know. Okay, so I kind of covered it. This doesn't have to be perfect. It's all going to get combined when it's in the oven together, but we really want that layered effect, and that's when you get the cool swirls throughout the pound cake as well. Okay, so you can go for another 1/3 of that. I have batter everywhere, but that's okay. Tastes good.
Do you think this would ever be good, like, with Thanksgiving meals?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, and that if you do like a normal pound cake too, that could almost be, depending on how much sugar you have, that could be like your bread for the evening. But I think Thanksgiving is one of those meals that you can like eat anything during it, no matter how sweet or savory it is, because it just works. You know. Yeah, that looks good. All right. So now we're going to add the remaining 1/3 of our batter, and just kind of spread it all around. You can see how light and fluffy it is, and that's just because of all the amount that we mixed it with the hand mixer when we were putting in the butter and the sugar and the eggs. Really incorporated a lot of air, so that's going to make sure that even though it's a denser cake, it's still going to be light and not like super heavy. All right, so now for the last streusel, we're actually going to make a really fun crunchy topping for the top of the pound cake. just to kind of change it up a little bit. I think that's always the best part about like pound cake or any kind of quick bread like this, that just it has a really good crunch on top. So we're going to add a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, if you want to mix that up. We're also going to add a tiny bit of nutmeg. I think nutmeg is another flavor that's similar to cinnamon that just kind of reminds you of fall time. Maybe nutmegs and pumpkin spice lattes. Like that's just, it's one of those things. I'm going to add about a quarter cup. That'd be a lot of nutmeg. 1/4 teaspoon. It's very potent, so you do not need a lot. 1/4 cup would be a bit overwhelming, I have a feeling.
Could you also add pumpkin to this pound cake?
Yeah, pumpkin pound cake would be really good. You could do that instead of the Greek yogurt. That'd be about the similar consistency. That way you don't have too much liquid in your cake either. The last thing I'm going to add is about 1.5 tablespoons of coconut oil. That's all of my fingers. It's softened so that we can incorporate it really easily within our crumble. I'm going to wash my hands.
What are your experiences with baking?
I do not bake a whole lot. Honestly, I'm good at eating, if that counts. But
that's how we became friends freshman year too. Is I wanted people to like me, so I made truffles and things.
Oh yeah, we were always in Mel's room eating whatever.
My roommate freshman year bought me for Christmas like this little. It was like a cupcake maker, but it plugged into the wall, so you could like make cupcakes in like 3 minutes or something. Thanks, Kirsten. That was one of the best gifts I got. It was awesome. All right, that looks really good. It kind of looks like puppy chow a little bit, kind of, somewhat. So we're just going to sprinkle this all over, and you can like use your hands or the fork, whatever you want to do. Because we kept the coconut oil softened, it actually like stuck with the sugar and the flour, which is really what you want. And we're just going to literally go everywhere. It's going to form such a good crust on top. Yeah, you can smell the nutmeg.
That smells really good.
It smells like the holidays. Look, I made a mess, everyone. Just like usual. How does everyone feel about Drake and his secret food obsession? Does everyone agree? I feel like it's a thing. Spoon has written articles about it. If you are ever interested, there's like 15 songs that are secretly about food or something.
He just
like,
always talks about food.
He does. He like talks about like chicken at one point, like lobster and shrimp. He's a nice diverse palate, I would say, because that's like those are opposite ends of the spectrum when you think about food. Yeah, I'm really excited. My grandma used to always, whenever we have Thanksgiving morning, she would make overnight rolls, and they would raise overnight all night, and then they'd be like caramel and cinnamon, and that would wake us up in the morning. And I'm gonna, sadly won't be home for Thanksgiving this year, but I'm sure she will do it. That's the best way to wake up.
Maybe send you some.
Well, I'll be in Ireland, so it'll be kind of hard to send it over there. But yeah, we can just sprinkle the rest of them on there. Alrighty, so the oven is preheated to 350 degrees. This is going to bake for probably about an hour. You can just put a toothpick or some kind of test stick, even like a knife would work, until it comes off clean, and that means it's all the way done. It's going to take a while because it's heavy. I feel like it's more than a pound.
Oh, I'd say so.
Yeah, you could like lift this.
More to eat, that's alright.
Yeah, well, you just lift it before you put it in the oven, and then you like have a workout, and then you can just eat all of the cake when it comes out. And because of my magic oven we have here, I actually have one that's already done. It's a little hot, okay. And as you can see from the crust that we put on top of it, it's like super caramelized and very golden brown and delicious, which is always a good thing to go for, especially in a dessert setting. Sometimes for this pan, because I know it sticks, I actually put a little bit of tin foil around it with the nonstick spray. Just makes it easier to get out. You can also put parchment paper in as well. And
I'm super excited
then you
about
have
this.
to just kind of like, oh, I'm really excited.
What are some toppings that you can put on top of this pound cake?
Whipped cream would be very good. You could do just like a simple powdered sugar icing kind of thing. It's pretty sweet already, so I wanted to make sure that we didn't overly sweeten the cake. If you did some kind of fruit one, you could do like a lemon zest whipped cream or something like that. Whipped cream is really cool too. It's pretty versatile in what you can add to it to put some more flavor into whatever you're making. You could even do like a cinnamon whipped cream. If you love cinnamon that much, I mean, go for it. Okay, let's see. I hope it's cooked. Just kidding, I know it is. Don't worry, friends.
How did you come up with this recipe?
So I just love cinnamon a lot, and Drake's a pretty cool guy, so I was like, let's make a cinnamon pound cake, and why not? And something that would be Thanksgiving-y. So you can see the swirls that we got. And we didn't even have to, sometimes you see cakes where they will swirl the top, which leaves a really cool effect on top, but this just naturally happened in the oven. And it's super, oh, it just smells really good. Okay. Do you like end pieces or like an inside piece?
Inside piece.
Okay.
I'm like the person that will like take the middle piece of a cake out.
That's okay. But, I mean, everyone has to have, you have to have those people as much as you have the people that like the outside. These are really small plates, but they work all right. Okay, there's your piece. I love the outside piece because it has
More
like,
on the crunch.
yeah, I'm a texture person, so I really like that. Okay, you ready for this?
Yes.
I wish we had like smell-o-vision phones and we could just like send smells to everyone out there.
This smells so good.
Cheers. Mmm.
That is so good.
You can see like the texture of the cake is very moist and it's dense, but it's still very light, and that's just because of how much you mix it with the hand mixer. Great investment piece. You can even get some that are like under $10 at like Bed Bath & Beyond and stuff. Highly recommend it. But it just, you don't even like taste that it doesn't feel heavy.
And the top like balances out the like softness of the rest of the cake.
Streusel, man, it changes lives.
A lot of people commenting are asking if they will be able to get the recipe after this.
Yes, absolutely. We'll post it on Spoon University. I think that this would be this is like early enough before Thanksgiving that you can plan for this, do a little bit of shopping, and put it on the menu. Be like, hey, Mom and Dad, I'm going to make breakfast the morning of Thanksgiving. Or if you're not the biggest baker, don't want to wake up early, maybe you ask them nicely if they'll make it. You know, it's all about how you ask it, I think.
Here, I have a plan for you. You can make this for me.
How much do the ingredients cost you all in all?
Almost like $10 for everything. That's buying like the flour and the sugar. I always buy off-brand flour and sugar because it's the same product, but it's going to be like $1 to $2 cheaper. The butter, and then the other cool thing about nutmeg, I bought a whole thing, but you can usually buy bulk seasoning. So if you're not someone that's going to use a lot of it, just buy a little bit of it, and you buy it by weight. So it's only like going to be like a couple, like 50 cents or something versus buying an entire bottle of it. But yeah, I think it's a very cost-effective college thing. This would also be really good in the morning. You could like put it in the toaster, a little bit of butter or something on it. And if you do a regular pound cake, put some jam, peanut butter. All of those are really good options. I mean, I don't think we can eat the entire cake tonight, but you never know.
I could probably do some.
It's only like 5 o'clock, so we have plenty of hours left in the day.
Now I'm making a mess.
You got to.
Could you also add things like raisins and chocolate chips in there?
Yeah, there's actually a really good bread called babka that a lot of people will make during the fall season that has cinnamon and chocolate in it, and then that's within this swirl too. I really like that. And the chocolate, if you do like just a cocoa powder or bittersweet chocolate, it will really help balance out the sweetness of the cake. Raisins are good too. I'm not a cinnamon raisin fan.
I'm not a raisin fan either.
I usually would pull out the raisins and give them to my dad or something, but if you're a raisin person, absolutely, that'd be really good. Nice texture. You could do like pecans or walnuts. Almonds would be really good too. And you could do this with like bananas too. That'd be a nice like substitute instead of the Greek yogurt, applesauce. So versatile. If you could do anything with this cake.
What about for our viewers who are need to be dairy-free and gluten-free?
Yeah, absolutely. So you could do almond flour instead of all-purpose. And, excuse me, this cake is so good, I can't stop eating it. Instead of the Greek yogurt, you could do anything from applesauce to bananas. You just really want to make sure you can add some kind of moisture to it. Coconut oil instead of the butter. You could do coconut oil in the batter itself as well, rather than just the topping. And then instead of eggs, you could do flaxseed. Just add a little bit of water to it, and it will help bind the bread and make it rise that little bit that you need.
Isabel asked, could you make it with fruit or something else?
Yeah, absolutely. You could even chop up some apples and put it inside if you like that kind of thing. Blueberries, bananas would work really well, any berry. Pound cake is so, like, it's just a blank canvas. You can add anything to it. And some flavors go better with cinnamon than not, but you can totally omit that and even just add, like, jam or something as the swirl instead of the streusel. Super versatile that way. Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, well, I think we're going to keep enjoying pound cake. But have a great Thanksgiving. I hope everyone is inspired to make this. Look for the recipe soon, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.